Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. You know what that means. It is 8:30 on the dot, actually. Like, wow, I timed that well. I was actually hoping to pop on like a minute or two early, but that's all right. I am on time, and that's exactly what I wanted. So, good evening, everyone. I'm super excited that it's Wednesday. I look forward to this day every week. And if you don't know why, you need to, because on Wednesdays at 8:30, I go live every week now in my new Adventures in Comprehension series. And basically, what that means is I get to sit down for about a half hour and chat with you about all things comprehension. And every week I have a specific topic, and almost every week I'm going to have a freebie for you as well. So definitely make sure that you're going to stay tuned with me tonight. Go grab a seat, go grab a drink, get a comfy place away from all the noise, the distractions, and the TV, or turn the TV on. I don't really care. But just stay tuned because you're really going to want to hear everything that we have to talk about tonight. So this is episode, I'm losing track. I need to keep track of how many episodes of this Adventures in Comprehension we've had. I think this may be number 3 or 4. Anyways, welcome. I'm super excited. I see Sarah and Hope have just popped on. Thank you so much. Make sure you're leaving a comment below and let me know where you're from and what grade you teach. This is going to be a very interactive session. I'm going to be asking lots of questions where I'm going to be having you comment your answer. So you're definitely going to want to be ready for that. Okay, so tonight's episode in Adventures of Comprehension is all about the true difference between reading skills and reading strategies. So I know that there are so many teachers out there, I myself included, for many years, that those were the exact same thing. And in fact, they're not. And I can't wait to debunk this teaching myth with you tonight and really explain to you what the true difference is and how and why it's going to impact not only you, but also your students, because it really will. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, drop your name, where you're from, and actually, if you would, I would love to have, hey Jennifer, I would absolutely love to have as many people in here as we can tonight. So I've never asked for this, but I'm gonna ask if you would tag a friend or two that you know would benefit from hearing or having being involved in this conversation tonight. Tag a friend or two, or hit the share button. Share it out, and let's get as many people in here as we can, because this is a really important topic. And again, it's one that not many teachers unfortunately know about, and it really is essential to our comprehension instruction and our students' comprehension understanding. So tag a friend, share it out for me. I absolutely appreciate it. But we're going to go ahead and get started, because I know I only have about 30 minutes with you, and I want to make sure that we are absolutely using every bit of that. So we're going to start tonight with a little quiz. Yes, you heard me right. A little quiz. So I'm going to ask you a question, and if you see me shivering, I am freezing right now. It is like 70 degrees in our house, but I'm right next to this huge window, and it is frigid, and I am cold. So I apologize if you can physically see me shivering, because I feel like I am. Anyways, quiz time. Are you ready? Give me some hearts if you're ready. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to comment with the answer. Do you think that the topic of main idea is a skill or a strategy? What do you think? Skill or strategy? I'm waiting for a few comments to see if I can see if anything pop up. After that one, I'm going to give you question 2. Do you think the topic of summarizing is a skill or a strategy? This is a good time to really be reflecting on your current level of understanding. Oh, I see some people said skill, and for main idea, skill. Okay, well, we're going to see. Answers to be revealed soon. Third question, do you think the topic of, let's see, compare and contrast, is that a skill or a strategy? Again, the reason I'm doing this is to really start getting you thinking about your level of understanding of all of the different skills and strategies that we have knowledge of and that we teach. And if we really need to make sure we are forming a true difference. I'm going to flip my phone upside down because it's going to like ding and stuff, and I don't want to be able to look down at that. Anyways, we need to make sure that we have a true divide between these two. And if we don't, then we're doing a disservice to our students and a disservice to our instruction. And so tonight, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to make sure we truly understand the difference between the two and how it's going to impact us. So I believe it's over on the side. Make sure you go over there and grab your freebie. Tonight's freebie, of course, is the notes that we're going to go over. I like to provide these because I know sitting down and listening to me talk for 20 minutes, you're not going to remember everything, and nor are you in a PD where you need to take notes, right? This is a casual conversation. So I like to give those to you. That way you can download them, walk away, and kind of continue to learn on your own after tonight's discussion. So you've got the notes, and we're going to go over this. You can see this is kind of intense, but it's going to be a good thing. And then I also made you a little sneak peek. Don't look at that yet, though. It's got the answers on it. But a little like poster for yourself. You can post it for your students to where it has all the skills on one side and all the strategies on the other. So that's your freebie tonight. You can go ahead and grab that and download it if you want. But we're going to dive right into it. So what is the difference? When you are starting to plan out your week and you have chosen your topic, your comprehension topic, do you have a different plan of action if it's a skill or if it's a strategy? Because if you don't, then you're really going to want to listen up. So we're going to start going down the T-chart in the freebie. You can grab that over to the side, and we're going to start talking about the difference. Okay, so we're going to start with skills. Reading skills. So reading skills. The definition of the word skill is actually one's ability to answer a particular type of question or to do a particular type of job. I only typed in the notes, I typed question because we're talking about comprehension, clearly. So it's a student's ability to answer a particular type of question, okay? That word question is really important when it comes to skill, and you'll see why here in a minute. When we're talking about reading skills, we're talking about things that are very automatic. They have an answer for you like that. They are very automatic type of questions and answers. Reading skills can, and they're usually assessed by a specific type of question in an assessment. So I want you to think about the assessments that you give in your reading class at the end of the week or whenever you give a reading comprehension assessment. 95%, if not 100, every time of those questions are assessing all skills. And I didn't put this in your notes, so this is kind of a little extra. Research shows that if we focus on skills and skills alone, research does not show any improvement in a student's reading comprehension whatsoever. Like, my jaw dropped when I learned that. Reading skills do nothing for our students. Like they can help, yes, but when it comes to truly comprehending and understanding a text, those don't do anything for them. It's about the strategies, okay? So when we're thinking about assessing our students on a comprehension test, what we're really assessing is their ability to do these skills. We're not assessing their understanding or their comprehension of the text. I know, Jennifer just gave me a wow, right? So it's true. So when we're thinking about creating these comprehension assessments or finding them on TPT or wherever you use, you really want to analyze those questions yourself before you give them and figure out what are you really wanting to assess with them. Are you wanting to assess their level of comprehension? Or are you wanting to assess their level of ability of the skill? Okay? So continuing with skills, skills involve tons of practice and feedback. They're very repetitive. So when you think about teaching things like main idea, let me get my list out, things like story elements or fact and opinion, compare and contrast, genre, plot, those are all very repetitive, right? We just do them over and over and over again until they've got them. And they involve a lot of feedback, like, yes, you have it, no, you don't, fix this, think that, do this, you got it, right? That's how we teach skills. when it comes to students, if a student is doing the skill, it's very automatic and it's very routine, right? The students are just answering the questions. They're just filling in the graphic organizer. It's just very routine and automatic for them to be able to do. There's not a lot of thinking involved. Now, if a student struggles with the skill, they may have to think to figure it out. But in regards to like deep comprehensive thinking, it's not there when it comes to skills. Believe it or not, when it comes to reading skills, students can do them without awareness at all. Like they can answer a skill question, or they can complete a skill while reading without even knowing they did it, right? Like they could be reading and they could see, you know, oh, that's a fact. Keep reading, there's an opinion, or oh, that's a character, like that's all automatic, and they're doing it without even being aware that they're doing it. And that's a really big difference between the skill and the strategy. And the final thing about reading skills is they are practiced in the exact same manner across all situations. So it doesn't matter what kind of text you give them. It doesn't matter, you know, what they're reading. It's the exact same type of practice, right? So skills are very basic. They have very little impact on truly getting our students to be able to comprehend, okay? Let's switch gears. Do we need to take a breath, right? I'm going to take a drink so I don't have a coughing fit like I did a few weeks ago. Anyways, let's move over now to the strategy side, okay? So this is where research shows we really need to be focusing. So I'm going to go through the list and then we can kind of chit-chat about this. So reading strategies. Reading strategies are where students actively think about the ideas that are in the text that they need and are going to understand. The words there that I need you to hone in are actively think, okay? Remember, in the skill side, they can do it automatically and without awareness. But on the strategy side, they are actively thinking about the exact strategy they are using. On the strategy side, it's not about answers. The answer does not matter at all. It's about the actions that the reader takes to be able to remember the text. Again, it's about the actions that they're taking and that they're actively thinking. Another big difference is that when a student is using a reading strategy, is that they are using them intentionally. The student knows they are using it. Again, very different from skills where it's automatic and routine. In a strategy, the student knows they're using them and they're using it for a specific goal or reason. And usually that goal or reason is to increase their chances of understanding the text. They are not learned by repetition at all. Like it can't just be an over and over and over again kind of thing. Instead, they are learned by tons of modeling and thinking aloud. So if you are reading to your students out loud and you are doing that type of thinking specifically for these strategies, then you're doing a great job of being able to model those. But a lot of teachers, when they're doing read alouds and think alouds, they're not being very intentional about the strategies, and they're just doing more of a conversation type piece. It needs to be very intentional with the thinking aloud and the modeling of the strategies, because that's the only way students are going to learn. They're not going to learn by a piece of paper kind of worksheet. Okay, if you look at your poster that I gave you with all the different strategies, asking questions, yeah, I can give them a graphic organizer and they can write down the question, but that's not teaching them how to ask questions. That's accountability for them to write them down, right? That's very different. So how do I get them to learn how to ask questions? I have to show them. It's in my out loud thinking and my modeling to get them to do that and to be able to do that as a reader. And that right there will help increase their comprehension. Also, and this is really important, if you are working on strategies and you notice that the students are just breezing through being able to do it, like, oh, they can summarize that text, they can ask questions, it's easy. That means the text is not complex enough. In order for students to truly be able to do these strategies correctly, the text has to be complex for them, because the whole point of the strategies are to be able to comprehend the text. So again, if the strategy is too simple for them, if they can make a prediction, if they can make a connection very, very simply, then the text is not complex enough for them. You need to increase the complexity. I already mentioned this, but strategies are done with a goal in mind, so they're done with a specific purpose. This is really interesting too. Strategies can become skills over time. So if you think about, I go towards summarizing because I think this is the one that makes most sense in my mind. Summarizing is a strategy because students have to be actively thinking about all of the events in the text. They have to be actively thinking about their understanding, and they have to be evaluating the events as well in order to be able to summarize the text. That's why that's a strategy. That right there can become a skill if the student's fluency increases, if the student's understanding of their ability to like visualize, if their ability to make connections, if all those other things increase, certain strategies can become skills over time. Not quickly, but over a long period of time. We're talking like when they get older in upper grades. And the final thing is that strategies are effortful, they're hard, they're very deliberate, and they have active involvement. Active involvement. Okay, so all of that, I know, like I just like word vomit a whole bunch of stuff on you, but I want you to realize, and hopefully through all of that you did, that in order to teach our students true comprehension, in order to assess it, we have to know the difference between these two different topics, right? Because if we just go at it all at the same, when they're not the same, then our students aren't going to grow the way that they could. Right? They may become great avid fluent readers, but think about our struggling readers specifically, or think about our advanced readers, right? Like how much more advanced can we be pushing them by focusing on strategies rather than skills and so forth. So I'm so excited, and I hope that, like I said, this wasn't too much word vomit, education word vomit on you. I hope it was worthwhile, but this is just something that really speaks to my heart, and I really feel like every educator needs to know the difference between both of these because it is vastly important to our students and our instruction. So my challenge to you is, after you watch the entire video, if you're just not joining in, make sure you comment, say hi, let me know your name, what grade you're teaching, where you're from. But tonight, download or print or look at your freebie. Make sure you go and grab your freebie and really reflect on your own instruction. And it's not going to change vastly what you're doing. You're not going to go and erase your lesson plans. But are you going to be more intentional about modeling these for your students when you're thinking out loud? Absolutely. Maybe you're going to be a little bit more intentional about the questions you ask on an assessment. Absolutely. So it's not going to change everything about you, but it's about thinking about it, being intentional, and truly trying to change and make that impact for your students. So, and again, the other part of your freebie is your little poster, I guess, printable. It's super colorful. I love it. Laminate it. Anyways, but it has skills and then strategies at the bottom. That way you've got a concrete understanding of the difference, or which skills and strategies are which. So, woo! I went through that in almost 15 minutes. That was crazy. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please make sure I put links off to the side. I'd love to have you in our Facebook group where I'm going to start doing some exclusive Facebook Lives in there. Every week they get an exclusive freebie. I ask all kinds of questions, and it's a great community. Come and join us. And I also put a link to my email family where they also get exclusive freebies just for them. So you're going to want to make sure you're truly connected with Adventures of Room 129 because I treat my family well, and I absolutely appreciate you all being along for the journey, and I love having you all here. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed tonight. If you're catching the replay, please feel free to leave comments or leave questions. I will absolutely get to all of them as soon as I can, and I'm so excited that you were taking time out of your Wednesday night to join me. So I will be back next Wednesday at 8:30. That's p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't remember the topic off the top of my head, but it's going to be a good one, right? And it's going to have a freebie. So make sure to have it in your calendar. Come and join me. I'll give you a few hours reminder, of course, and I can't wait to see you then. So I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.